You're right to getting good feedback. Feedback is critical as a leader because we cannot see ourselves. We're somewhat invisible to ourselves, and we need our relationship with others, right, to start to get an idea of how others are experiencing us and where we can actually do the work. That principle is also alive and well in coaching, right? Like having an objective conversation with someone where they can maybe see something that you can't see and can bring it up. But where are you avoiding feedback? Because being late is often a way to avoid feedback. If you slide in at the last minute, there's no conversation that can be had. There's no look at your work. There's no connecting or sharing with others. It's a way to hide. Showing up on time and keeping your agreements that way is a way to be visible. Being visible and being public is a key principle in getting access to leadership state and being a leader. Like really being responsible for the difference that you make in the world. Back to that, right? Back to that you matter. Okay, so last session we talked about engagement. We talked about the idea that if you can't be happy here, you can't be happy over there. And that it's a misconception to think that an inanimate object can give you joy, or the vehicle of your expression is what gives you joy, or satisfaction, or peace, or any of those things. That there's nothing out there that's going to make you happy in here, or peaceful, or satisfied, or confident, right? Like that. All of that is an illusion, and it leads to a lot of dissatisfaction. So looking for the thing out there isn't going to work. Instead, your access to joy and satisfaction and peace is all about your expression of yourself. That you are fully expressing what you find important, your values. That you're in full expression of that. What if it's easy to be happy here, or satisfied here, or peaceful here, when you're not suppressing? When we're selling out, that's how we start to fuel malcontent. And the danger is that we're all swimming in a culture that tells you that if you're dissatisfied, that's where your motivation comes from. But think about what happens when you're dissatisfied. You're not being responsible for what's occurring right now in your reality. You're not present. You're in your head about where you think you should be. So therefore, you're not being responsible for the actions that got you here, or for the ways of being, everything you said, everything you did, how everything lined up such that you are here right now. That's where you're selling out, right? That's where you give away your power when you're not being fully responsible for your own circumstances, for that 2 + 2 = 4, for that that embracing of this is what there is for me to accept right now. And when you're there and expressing what you value, that's when you have an experience of power, satisfaction, peace, joy, like fill in the blank of all those yummy, yummy emotions. Research shows that it's not true that dissatisfaction is a motivator. We are motivated by the gap. We're motivated by seeing something we want to realize, seeing something we want to create, seeing who we want to become, and allowing that to pull us forward. Vision is the magnet for your growth and development. Vision is the magnet for your sustainable motivation. When you use dissatisfaction to be motivated, what happens is you're reinforcing a mindset that will keep you miserable and suffering. So back to session 3, remember I said when you're, integrity, like being sound, whole, and complete. When you view yourself from this place of wholeness, you have access to your full self-expression. We have lots of vehicles for expressing what we care about. It doesn't have to be one thing, right? We can express what we care about in our relationships. We can express what we care about in our work. We can express what we care about in our community and with our neighbors. We can express what we care about with our family and friends. We can express what we care about in the political arena. There are many, many, many different ways in which you can express what you care about, what's important to you. So the other myth is that this one thing, right, is supposed to give you all this fulfillment instead of recognizing it's who you're being here and here and here and here and here. It's what you're expressing here and here and here and here and here. And from this place of wholeness, right, you start to see that how you view things shifts. How you view your body, how you view money, how you view time, how you view your work, how you view your relationships. The perspective shifts because how you're seeing yourself as whole. And that shifts then the filter for how you see those other things. Make sense? When you give up that problem mindset and you're willing to start to consider that you're whole and complete, and that there are simply barriers to your expression of that completion. So part of getting access to loving what you do is being fully expressed. And I'm saying that a lot of different ways because people miss this in this course. And they miss it because it requires that you look very deeply at where you're suppressing yourself. That you look very deeply at what you won't allow. Are you allowing an expression of full well-being, for example? Are you allowing an expression of full joy? Are you allowing an expression of full power? Are you allowing an expression of fill in the blank? Where do you censor and suppress yourself? Because that's where you're likely suffering. When you shut down anywhere, you suffer because it's a perpetration on your relationship with yourself. It's a perpetration on your relationship with yourself when you do that to yourself. So back to session 3, remember remember the piece about well-being. When you're not taking care of your needs, when you deny yourself food, you deny yourself sleep, you deny yourself peace, you deny yourself the love you need, you deny yourself intimacy, or whatever it is you're denying yourself. When you act like you don't matter, it creates a filter for how you also see others. So not only are you not mattering to self, you're also very likely relating to others in the same way without realizing it. It's where you go to sleep because it takes a tremendous amount of energy to suppress what you're here for, your purpose, your vision, your values. Let me see if I forgot anything. So part of getting access, of course, to loving what you do is expressing yourself. But first you have to acknowledge and identify where it is you're not. Looking at where you're suffering is one of the ways to do that. So there's really 2 things that can make the difference whenever you find that you're not engaged. Like, I'm really not engaged here. It's getting clear about what there is for you to express in this moment, and or getting clear about what the courageous action is, or taking the courageous action. Because remember, courage just kicks us up into those powerful emotional states. And so even stepping into courage can start the expression of what there is that you value. So those are the 2 places to look when you find yourself not engaged. So I want to hear from some of you now. Where did you notice you're not fully engaged? Where have you been selling out? What expressed value is missing, or what courageous action? All right, so let's take some sharing.